Now that we've talked about several polygons that we can find the area of, we're going to talk about something called irregular polygons or compound shapes. Okay, what they are polygons that look kind of like this, where there's not a formula for it. You have to break it up into pieces and then find the area of each spot and then use those areas to determine what the area of the irregular polygon is. So what we're going to do first is, when we do these, we also find the perimeter of them. Okay, so when we find the perimeter of these, I always say of irregular polygons that you need to make sure that you fill in every side, because the hardest part about finding perimeter is forgetting a side. So you got to make sure you remember them all. Okay, so 13 is on the top, 1 is on the side, 8 is here, 7 is here, and this side is missing. Okay, so you got to fill in the missing sides. Well, in order to do that, you have to be able to use the information that's given to you. So this line right here is equal to the parallel lines on the other side. So if I draw a line on the parallel lines, this is parallel to this line, and this is parallel to this line. If we drag those lines over, we drag that green line over, as well as this one, that equals that side. So we know that we can take 8 plus 1, which is 9, and get this side. Okay? And then to find perimeter, we just add it up. And when I find perimeter, when I'm adding them up, I just circle them. Okay? Or I put some mark next to them just to make sure I know that I've used it and I haven't forgotten it. So I'm just going to circle 9, 13, okay, that's 22, plus 1 and 8, 1 and 8 is 9, so we're going to add 9 again, 31, and 7 is 38. So our perimeter is 38 feet. 38 feet. Okay, one line means feet. Okay? Alright, so now that we've found perimeter, we're going to find area. I'm going to go ahead and erase this work so I have some room to work. Okay? So when you have an irregular polygon or a compound shape, you need to make sure that you cut it up into polygons we know the formulas for. So and you can cut it up any way you want, as long as you are making polygons like triangles, rectangles, squares, trapezoids, or parallelograms. As long as you're doing that, then you're good. Okay? So if we want to cut this shape up, my first thought is to cut it up like this. So I have a rectangle here, and I have a rectangle here. Okay. You could also cut it right here and make a longer rectangle, and then this would be a little bit smaller rectangle. Okay, so let's do the big rectangle first. Okay, so this is a rectangle, so you're going to write the formula. I'm going to use length times width. Okay, there's area equals length times width, or area equals base times height for rectangles. Okay, you can use either one. So the length of this rectangle is 9, and the width is 7. Okay, the biggest thing is that you're taking the full length and the full width. If you were to say that the width of this rectangle was 8, you wouldn't be right, because this line doesn't go all the way to the top. Okay, it only goes part of the way. Okay, you need to take the whole length and the whole width. It's very important. All right, so 7 times 9, or area equals 9 times 7 63. So this is 63 feet squared. So I was just write it in there, 63 feet squared. Okay? So that's that rectangle in this irregular polygon. Okay? Alright, the next polygon we need to take, this is also a rectangle. I'm going to use the formula base times height. Okay? The base is this line right here. Okay, but we don't necessarily know the base yet, so we have to figure it out. Okay, well, how do we figure that out? Well, we use the line that's parallel to it. So this line from here to here is 13. Okay? And from here to here is 7. So we can use those lines because if I draw a red line over top of this, drag this up, minus this line, which is 7, will give me the extra amount, and that will be equal to the base. Okay, so 13 minus 7 is 6. So this is 6 feet, and this is 6 feet. So our base is 6, and our height is 1. So area equals 6 feet squared. So this is 6 feet squared. Okay? Now that we have the areas of each of the polygons inside of the irregular polygon, all we have to do is add those areas up in this case because we did the areas inside of the polygon. So 63 plus 6 equals 69 square feet. So that's the area of this irregular polygon. Okay, let's try another one. Okay, this time we're just going to do area. Okay, if we were to find the perimeter, we would add up every side on the outside. Okay, actually, let's just do that quick. So 8 centimeters, 7 centimeters, 10 centimeters. We don't know that side. Okay, these little marks tell us that it's equal to this line. So we can say that that's 7 centimeters. And this line is equal to this line. Don't get the height in the middle of this irregular polygon confused. Okay? This is 8 centimeters because this line has that mark, and that means it's equal to the one that has the same mark. Okay, so we have 8 centimeters. Now, all you have to do is add up all the sides. Remember to mark it as you go so you don't forget one and you don't use one twice or anything. Okay, so this is 8 plus 8 is 16. 7 plus 7 is 14. So we'll add that up. You get 30, plus another 10 is 40 centimeters. Okay, so this is 40 centimeters for the perimeter. Let's move this. Perimeter is 40 centimeters. Okay? Hardest thing with perimeter is just not forgetting something, making sure you're filling every side. Okay? Alright, so now this is an irregular polygon because it's not a trapezoid, it's not a parallelogram, it's not a rectangle, it's not a square, and so we need to cut it up into shapes that are triangles, that are squares, that are rectangles, that are polygons, that we know the areas of. Okay, so I'm going to erase this work again so I have some room. Okay, what jumps out at me is that I can, if I draw a line right here, that creates a big triangle and a big rectangle. Okay, a big triangle and a big rectangle. So I'm going to find the area of this rectangle right here. Okay? So the formula for a rectangle, okay, if you don't know, look in your formulas page, but area equals length times width, or area equals base times height. I'm going to use length times width. Our length, in this case, is 10, okay? And our width is 7 centimeters, okay? So we multiply that together, and we get 70 centimeters. Now, I know you think I'm crazy, but I need to see this work. You need to be able to show the formula. You need to plug the numbers in and write the answer. Okay, you got to do that every time. Okay, it will help you. It will keep you organized. So please do that. 70 centimeters squared. Okay, that's the formula, or that's the area of the rectangle in this irregular polygon. Okay, the other shape is the triangle at the top, and it kind of makes two triangles based on how they show the height. So you could do both triangles, but it's easier just to do the one triangle. Okay, so formula for a triangle is area equals base times height divided by 2. Okay, the base is this line right here because this is showing the height. So we know our height is 5. We just have to figure out what our base is. Okay, so this line, this red line that I drew, is equal to what's parallel to it, which is 10. See how that red line right here is equal to 10 centimeters if we look parallel to it. Okay, so we can say that the base here is 10 as well, centimeters. So in our formula we can put in 10. Okay, area equals area equals 10 times 5 is 50 divided by 2. Area equals 50 divided by 2. If you don't know that, you can do it on the side, but it's 25 centimeters squared. Okay, so that's the area of the triangle. Okay, I wrote down my formula, I plugged the numbers in, and I solved it, and I got the area of the triangle. Now that's all that's left to do is to add up the areas that we have because we found the area inside of the polygon. So 70 plus 25 is 95 centimeters squared. Don't forget your labels. Okay? 95 centimeters squared. Remember that centimeters, you don't need the squared for perimeter because you're just finding the one dimension, the length around the outside. Area, you're finding two dimensions. Okay, it's a two-dimensional shape. Okay, polygon, you're finding the size of the surface on the inside. So you need the 2 there, along with the label, the units that are there, which was centimeters in this case. Okay, that's 2 examples of irregular polygons. Make sure these get in your notes. These are important. And make sure you write the shape too in your notes because that will show you how you did this problem. Okay, don't just write the work. Okay, make sure the shape's in there too. If you have any questions, please let me know. But otherwise, share your notes with me when you are done.